Coming up next, we've got Ramsay, he, him from Egypt. Ramsay, you are live. What's going on?
Hello?
Hey.
Hello.
Hello?
Hi.
Hello, how are you, Arden and Shannon?
Hello,
Doing
Ramsay.
well.
How are you?
What's up?
I'm doing well. I have a question about the cosmological argument. So I listened to the previous call, Abdullah, so I will try not to repeat myself. So I guess, Shannon, you have an issue with, the universe has a beginning, right?
Yeah. Well, I don't know that I have an issue. I feel as though that premise isn't fully supported, so demonstrably so. Right? I think that people assert it based on, what we have as scientific knowledge now in philosophy, that they make an assertion that isn't necessarily even founded on deeply rooted scientific knowledge when it comes to cosmology. They just say, they have this understanding that there was a thing, there was an initial event of some sort, and then cast a bunch of assertions onto that in order to say, A, it couldn't be cyclical, B, there was nothing, like a true nothing before, and then I guess that is the premise that I have an issue with. One of them, yeah.
So, I believe that heat death, it's most physicists say it's most likely what will happen. In the psychedelic universe, all the evidence goes to that there is an end to this universe, an end to the available energy.
Okay, I'm not an astrophysicist, so I don't know. Maybe?
That's what we what most of them say, that the heat death, the universe will end.
Okay.
And basically, the second law of thermodynamics says, the universe is decaying. There is available energy at the beginning, and then it's decaying, and
doesn't
it
that
ends,
need to be in a closed
beginning
system?
and the end.
Okay, sure. So how does
the
this
universe is a closed system? Mm-hmm.
So I'm not understanding how this supports that premise, though. Are we getting there?
So basically, it proves that the physical universe needs a beginning.
Why?
So this is why,
why does it? How does it prove that?
Because the available energy, is, the universe, it's always the energy. It's in disorder all the time. So the beginning, this available energy, where it comes from. I'm sorry, I didn't get that.
So I'm not getting how, therefore, the universe began to exist and there was truly nothing before it, and it's impossible for it to be cyclical. Because it could be that energy is just something that always existed, right? Because energy, we know we can't destroy energy. Nor create it.
It could be if we don't know that the energy is always, in the case of disorder, always going to be unavailable. It's going to end.
Energy.
So that's why, there is a need for
Why does the disorder affect that, though?
Mm-hmm.
Why does the order or lack thereof the energy affect the state of the universe before this instantiation of the universe?
Okay. Far more succinct than me. Thank you.
So, no. So why? I'm sorry. What's the question again? I'm so sorry. Can you repeat it?
I'm just you're. So if I'm following, maybe I'm not following correctly. That's totally possible. I'll try to articulate my thinking. It sounded like Shannon was asking. She needed help with demonstrating that there was nothing before this instantiation of the universe. And you said, well, we know that because energy is always in disorder. I'm not seeing the link between those two things. How does the energy being in disorder lead to nothing before the universe as we understand it?
Yeah.
Does that help?
Okay.
Or did I miss the mark?
Yeah, in a sense, my
nailed it for me.
Is if, or my thing is if things, they are naturally dissipating, at the point of the Big Bang, there's a singularity, where it's how naturally it doesn't happen. Makes sense?
No, I don't think so.
That's why, like, this is like the physical universe, how it's working.
But you're not. So, are you trying to say that because energy is dissipating or is in a state of disorder, therefore it originated at a single point? Because I don't even think that I'm arguing against that, because I agree that the rapid expansion took place. So I don't understand how that even addresses my objection, which is that people are just making an assertion that there was truly nothing beforehand, and no one can demonstrate that the universe isn't cyclical. So the premise itself is unsupported unless you're making an assertion.
So I mean, like, the heat death proves that the universe is not cyclical.
The heat
can we agree on that?
Proves that the universe isn't. No, I don't think that I can. So you're saying that if the universe, okay, I think I'm seeing where you're getting, that it started at a finite point and then there will be some sort of heat death. And that means that there's also a finite point at the end that we can point to, and we can say, and this is when it's over. So how do you
exactly like the
get from
universe? Like,
right. So what does that look like to you that you're comfortable in making the assertion that at that point things couldn't start over again? So like what about that makes you comfortable making that statement?
So like as I mentioned, like the heat death, like energy won't be available to do something again like the Big Bang.
What happens to the energy? What happens to the energy?
It will be unavailable, like can't do any work, like it's heat death, no work at all.
Well,
it's
here,
like the end,
if I can
form of universe,
just pipe in, Ramsay, look, I don't think either Shannon or I are cosmologists. We're not specialized in this in any way, shape, or form. So you may be right that is true for the end of the universe, but I'm failing to see, and I think this is Shannon's point, how this relates back to that first premise of there being nothing beforehand. It may be that at the end, it will be unusable and just, I don't know, floating around doing nothing there. But how does that relate to there being nothing beforehand? I feel like you haven't demonstrated that. And it could be our lack of understanding, but I don't feel like it
is. So like if the natural laws doesn't make the energy available in this form, this concentrated form, singularity, so there is a need for unphysical creator in a sense. Like these are the rules of the physical universe.
I can't get there with you.
And something like the Big Bang happened.
So, and here's a problem with conversations like this, is that none of us are astrophysicists. I don't know, maybe you're an astrophysicist, Ramsay, perhaps you are.
No, I'm not.
Yeah, so we have three lay people relaying our lay understanding of astrophysics to one another right now, where like any one of us could be so far off base that it's comically ridiculous to an astrophysics professor that's watching this right now. So this conversation to me is just which one of our remedial understandings of astrophysics is going to win in this conversation. And I don't know what the point of that is. And it's like, it still doesn't answer my objection, because you have a maybe more than remedial understanding. I don't know you personally, but any of these assertions you're making could be so unsupported by the actual science and astrophysics that it's ridiculous. And I would have no idea. I just wouldn't know, because I'm not an expert in the field. So it's just, it's like putting two Furbies in front of one another and expecting them to like write Shakespeare. That's what this feels like to me right now.
I think Ramsay, I appreciate you calling in and shooting your shot. I think you did well.
Better than most.
As far as I can tell, like none of us here really are demonstrating. We're not like solving the issues we have with the cosmological argument, and I don't think any of us are probably wrapping our heads around these concepts accurately. So maybe it's best if we pause this conversation for today, and maybe we all should read a little bit before we come back and try that kind of conversation again.
I enjoyed talking to you, though. It's interesting. Okay, it'll give me something to think about, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, sure.
Thanks,
Thank you so much for that. Very good.
No problem. Thank you for staying on the
Thank you.
topic too. Oh my God, I love you for that.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I mean, we tried, but yeah, it was just it's the like that point of like the assertion and like
Yeah,
asking for the link and not getting the link, and it's like it may well be there, but I'm not getting it.
Yeah. And I get to
but
the point where I'm like, I have no good reason to accept except for you're making an assertion, and it's no better than my best judgment potentially, which
Yeah.
it would just be me making an assertion at this point. So it's not benefiting anybody.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.